Like most RVers, the amount of time that we can spend boondocking or away from a campground with hookups is limited by how much water we can take with us and then how fast we go through it. For this video, we're looking to change that. I'm back again with yet another RV do-it-yourself project. Since we completed our solar setup, we've been doing way more boondocking. Now, we have a 65-gallon freshwater tank, a 50-gallon blackwater tank, and 2 gray tanks, one of which is also 50 gallons and the other is 37. So with our typical water usage for our family of 4, we can go 10 days, but much more commonly and much more comfortably, we typically only go about a week at a time. And then we have to break camp and find a place to dump and refill water. All of that is about to change. So here's the plan. We picked up a 42-gallon portable RV waste tank. Now, with this new macerator pump and a 75-foot hose, we can pump our wastewater from the RV right into the tote, which just lives in the bed of the truck between the tailgate and the hitch. Next, I drive this to the dump station and just unload it through the side here with a regular sewer hose. Don't worry, I'm not bringing out the sewer hose for show and tell. Next, after the wastewater is all taken care of, we now have a 60-gallon freshwater bladder. So we just refill this, and there's room for it in front of the hitch, still in the bed of the truck. And then we run into a little bit of a problem because our RV doesn't have a gravity fill for our freshwater tank. So what that means is that when I come back with a load of fresh water, it'll have to be pumped into the RV right through our normal water inlet. Now, we do have a valve configuration up here for sanitizing and winterizing the RV that will use your existing pump to suck water in through this port. And I don't really understand why, but it doesn't work very well. I've winterized the RV before and it took forever to pump 5 gallons of RV antifreeze in. So while I've heard some people have had some success using this function to fill water while boondocking, it just didn't really seem like a good option for us. Instead, I bought an identical pump to the one that's already installed in the RV. So not only should I be able to use this to pump water from the tank of the truck into the RV, but let's say we're out in the woods and our house pump dies. This would be a direct replacement so we wouldn't be caught out in the middle of nowhere without water. Next, I got a couple of stainless steel adapters. These are 1/2-inch NPT connections on the pump, so they'll go into these, and then these adapt that to the regular RV freshwater hose. So I'll take our regular freshwater hose from the bed of the truck to the inlet of the pump, and then another hose from the outlet of the pump right into the water fill for the RV. And it should fill exactly like it would at a campground. Now for the electrical part. Both our freshwater and wastewater pumps operate off of 12 volts. And we've had this power port sitting in the water bay all these years unused. This was part of our solar pre-wiring that came with the RV, so theoretically you could hook up some external solar panels to it, but it's just been sitting here unused with a coil of 12-gauge wire hanging off the back of it. So I wired that up to the battery bank to use as a power port for our pumps. And ironically enough, this 2-wire connection here is the same exact one that the macerator pump came with. So the freshwater pump just came with bare leads, so I bought a pigtail with the same connector on it to chop up to connect that with an on-off switch.
I spliced together the wiring harness for the macerator pump with heat shrinkable splices, then again for the freshwater pump.
Now for the exciting part. I have enlisted the help of my lovely assistant.
Let's do it.
Let's go. There we have it. Let's go get the hose.
I attached the macerator pump to the RV sewer port and connected the 75-foot hose to its outlet.
That seems snug. So the tote came with this hose adapter to go on here. I think it's technically a cleaning port. You could put non-potable water at a dump station in here to flush this thing out, but it's also the only place that a garden hose will attach. So I'm gonna use it to pump water in, and I'm just gonna take off this cap right here, which if this was on the ground, this is where you would dump your sewer into with a regular sewer hose. I'm just gonna leave that open so air can escape. All right, so we attach this right here. And again, I am pumping the waste into the tote, into the bed of the truck, because if I did this on the ground and filled it through the regular port, this would be like 500 pounds and there's no way I could lift it. And then this goes on here. And I think that's it. Now I'm gonna have my lovely assistant press a button for me while I watch it fill. Here is the on-off button for the macerator pump. Now I just have to complete connecting it. Okay, so next I'm gonna open both gray tanks to get all that wastewater sitting up against the pump. So here is the lever for the first gray tank. I'm gonna open that. So far so good. Looks like everything's holding. So I will open the second tank. So now all that wastewater should be resting up against the pump. And now it is time to pump into our tote. Hit it! So far so good.
Pretty uneventful so far. It's the way we like it.
Okay, stop it.
What do you think?
I know there's still a little bit of water in the hose, so I'm hoping I can turn off the valves, maybe turn it on again for just a moment to kind of clear things, and then maybe take that off of there and try to lift it up high enough to clear the hose. Hopefully this doesn't get messy. I think anytime you're dealing with your sewer port, you're always thinking, gee, hopefully this doesn't get messy.
That's why we're testing it with the gray water, not the black.
Absolutely, yes. I think that's good. Next stop, dump station. Water out, time for some water in.
Before filling, I made sure to disinfect the water bladder per the instructions that came with it. Next, for my first crack at this, I only filled the freshwater bladder to a little over half capacity.
All right, so I got that done. Now we're back, so I'm gonna pump it into the RV. I have one hose connection on this freshwater pump that's a little bit difficult, so I wanna always make sure I connect my inlet first, because then I can twist the pump to get this on here. This blue hose is going to the tank in the bed of the truck. And then I simply have to open a valve on that tank to bring the water to the pump. Step 2 is the electrical connection for the pump. Then I use one more hose here to connect to the outlet to the pump and into the RV. And now, since I'm not entirely sure that I got 45 or so gallons of water in that bladder, I put my flow meter right here on the inlet to the RV. I know I'm gonna lose a little bit of water through the hoses, so this will just tell me exactly how much water to get into my freshwater tank. Okay, I'm gonna go open the valve on the end of the bladder in the truck. Next, I'm gonna change my valve configuration in the water cabinet to fill the tank. All right, now we turn on this pump. There it goes, 1 gallon now. Getting down near the end of it here. Looks like that's about it. The pump is stuttering, the bag is empty. I closed the valve on the bag. Looks like I got 37.2 gallons. Like I said, I think I'll do a better job with it next time. I'm sure there's a little bit lost in the hoses, but pretty happy with this. I really like that that bag will fold down so tightly, and it is lightweight and goes away real easily. I will definitely supply a parts list. If not in the description, then definitely in the related blog post, which will be in the description. Thanks for watching. If you like this kind of content, please give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.
If you like our content, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified the next time we release a travel video. See you soon!